Are you still single? Haven't you married yet? Don't you have kids? Why not? What do you do for a living? Have you gained some weight? Do you believe in God? And sometimes we might get asked such questions that we think, seriously? Did you just ask that question? My dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel again. My name is Lucina and you are here to polish your manners with me. Today we're going to discuss one of the hottest topics ever: how to graciously respond to inappropriate, uncomfortable, impolite questions given to us. Let's go! First, we're going to look at some steps you should never do when you are asked an uncomfortable question. Let's go! First of all, when answering an inappropriate question, we should mind that our task is to respond the way, on the one hand, not to let the person asking cross the line, cross the boundaries and jump over our dignity. In simple words, we shouldn't let the person say what they want. On the other hand, the goal of our answer should be to maintain the same relationship with the person that we used to have. 3 things you shouldn't do when someone asks you an impolite question. First, don't take your eyes off his or her. Don't lower your head down while you are speaking. It looks pathetic and it may seem you're ashamed of the situation. So, our task is to look directly in the eyes of the person who asked the question. Second, do not show you are annoyed by the question asked. Don't show any aggression towards the person who asked the question. And the third one, do not show your embarrassment. In general, there are 2 pathways to take: the high road and the low road. The high road to answer the question is with a smile, with light and soft tone. The low road to answer the question is with an anger, with an irritated tone. In this case, we lower ourselves to the level of the person who asked the question, so we should always aim to take the high road. So let's pass to the ways how to respond to uncomfortable questions graciously. Let's go! There is no need to add more tension there where there is already some. So, what do we need? Humor. Yes, of course, humor. The number 1 effective method to answer to an impolite question is to respond with humor. For example, to the question, why don't you have kids yet? You could answer, oh, even we ourselves are still children at heart. Or to the question, aren't you married yet? You could answer, actually in the morning I've set the alarm for 9 a.m. to go to the marriage registration office, but I gotta sleep. The next time I'll make sure to wake up on time. The thing is not in what you answer, but rather how you answer. The key is in your intonation, in your tone of voice, rather than in your words. The second way to respond is through a transition. Make a transition, but a good one. The transition should not be abrupt, sudden, but rather a smooth one. For example, to the question, how much is your salary? You shouldn't say, oh, you see, the bird is singing, or do you see the rainbow? Or let's talk about our math class. No, it's not a transition. To the question, how much is your salary? You can answer, thank you, enough for me. By the way, which bank would you suggest me to invest my money? To the question, when you're gonna have kids? You can say, someday, but guys, what was the coolest thing in the first days after you got married? The third method is asking for advice. When you ask for advice, the person would be pleased enough, so he or she would forget that you should answer to the question. So ask for some tips from the person on that matter. The next method to answer to an impolite question is asking a question instead, a clarifying one. For example, to the question, aren't you still married yet? You can say, are you concerned that I'm lonely? And the key here is in your tone. It should be light and soft and with a smile. Are you concerned that I am lonely? To the question, what is your salary? You can say, are you worried about my financial status? Another way of responding is getting into the philosophy. Yes, when instead of going away from the question, you go into details. When you are being asked, "Aren't you still married yet?" you can answer, "Do you know, nowadays men and women are more concentrated on themselves, on developing themselves. They are focusing on their career, starting their own business, and only after that they are deciding to form their families." The last way to answer is being direct, being straightforward if a question makes you feel uncomfortable. Mind, you have all the rights to not to answer the question. You don't have to answer if you're not good about that. You can say, "I'm sorry, I'm not feeling comfortable talking about that." Again, the tone is key here. Or you can say, "I'd prefer not to discuss this topic." For instance, to the question, "What's your religion?" you can say, "It's not a good time to talk about it," or "It's not a good place to discuss it." Or you can say, "In my culture, we don't discuss such topics outside the family." So, ladies and dear gentlemen, we've learned some methods to answer to impolite, uncomfortable questions. Thank you very much for staying with me till the end. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, I would be very grateful, and also leave your points of view or other suggestions in the comment section below. See you the next time!